Super exciting morning. We are heading up to Piarco to grab a flight to Grenada. I got a couple of friends that went across to Grenada yesterday and we're going to meet up and we're going to target billfish and of course my favorite, yellowfin tuna. Hoping to target one on our stick baits using spin gear. It will be a dream come true if I do catch one on the stick bait. If I don't, it's Grenada and it has epic fishing, so it's going to be a win-win situation. See how it goes. Wait, which way is going off for us? So here's the plan. We're going to head out the marina. We're going to look for birds. We're going to look for dolphins. Normally those two indicate signs of yellowfin tuna, which is the primary target species for me. But yeah, it's a billfish / tuna trip. If we get marlin and sailfish, obviously we're going to be super stoked on that. But personally, you know, I'm after the tuna and spin gear on tuna. It's what I'm dreaming of all the time. Haven't had it happen yet. I've had opportunities in the past, but unfortunately fell short. I got a couple hookups, but nothing stayed on. So hopefully this trip that changes. On the way out, we bounced up the most amazing conditions I've ever encountered in Grenada. Like, there was 1 knot of wind. It was completely flat, no swell. It was like blue mine conditions. It was like the perfect conditions to look for porpoise or the dolphins and the birds, and sure enough we found them and it was amazing. After a couple hours, we found a pretty solid frenzy. They definitely had some fish in this. We saw a lot of busts on the surface, just fish busting back and forth, feeding. No dolphins, but the birds were heavy and a lot of small feed. I was super tizzy, so I ran and jumped up on the bow to get my spin tackle ready, and we ran out to them to give them a few casts.
Oh! Oh!
What the f is that?
Well, that'll be it. Now I need the small rays on.
What? I'm not putting on the song.
I'm surprised when you did it. Look at that. Turn right, Vin, turn right! Turn right! Yeah, that's good, that's good!
What it ended up being was just a whole bunch of little skipjacks and bonitos. No tuna, no dolphin. Normally when you don't see the dolphin, it's because there's no tuna around. I've kind of come to associate the two with each other. Normally if there's frenzies and you see dolphin, there's probably tuna as well. But naturally we couldn't leave one of those frenzies without catching something, right? So check out what Reese caught.
Come in, board, Brett, come in, board! Rick, move! Move, Rick! I'm fighting up bird, Brett! There you go! Get that off of me, Potter! Potter, get that off of me! Oh, get it off! Hold on, I'll get it.
Just for the record, that bird was completely unharmed. It was just the lead that was wrapped around the wing and we just unwrapped it and let it go. He flew away quite happy, and we were quite happy as well. While all this commotion was going on, we kind of strayed away from the frenzy a little bit and had two huge explosions in the spread. Initially, I thought it was a marlin, but it was actually two big yellowfin tuna. One was on the shotgun, one was on the outrigger. The shotgun we missed, never had any hookup, but we hooked the one on the outrigger, and Potter was regrettably on the rod. I think his words were, he regret picking up that rod. So check it out, you'll see why.
Down. Yeah. Straight down.
He's fine.
I think just keep us going forward.
Yeah, man. Follow along.
Potter.
That good, Bean.
Put in there, Potts.
That good, Bean.
How hard is that drag?
Soft us. Is it on full?
Real hard.
What kind of shit is that?
Sunsetted one time?
No,
that rod is
Harry, looking like the back season. The wind go blow you over there. What was that? What, those skip legs there, dog. Trust me.
Now, anyone who's fought a big yellowfin tuna knows what they're in for when you hook into these big fish. It's like a tug-of-war game, and they fight up and down. They fight dirty, they fight hard. It's pretty harsh on the angler just because the angle that they fight at, they like to sit straight under the boat, and they sit down when they do these huge circles, and they'll sit 100, 150 feet under the boat, and you just have to be there just playing with them back and forth, back and forth. It's just a tug-of-war game.
Alright, give him a prepper there, Harry. Sit down into him there, Harry. Go on. Harry doing circles down there. Well, as if Harry didn't have a rod in his hand, he would have slapped somebody by now. What's that?
He really started putting pressure on the fish and got it coming up bit by bit, inching that fish up. We gave him a lot of talk throughout the entire fight. I'm pretty surprised he took it, but he took it like a champ.
I just watched it there. I just want to, once you leave the fish, you can grab it.
Please, look out.
I'll do that. He's spinning. Slow down.
Hey, Bean, wait,
Hit him, man. You are hit it. You hit it.
What's your rod tip?
Turn right. Straight. Keep spinning right. Keep spinning.
Hey, don't let go, bro. Slow down.
Slow right down.
Skippy, come in the back here. Skippy.
It's dead. Bring him. Good, he's good. What's the tip?
Go in next way, hold on.
He dead.
Hit him tiny.
Hit him. Hold him tiny. Hit him.
Come in here.
Hold on.
Nice.
Get us on camera.
Nice, Potter. Hold on. One time.
After we landed at Yellowfin Tuna, we stayed in the area for quite a while again, working the birds, but we weren't able to raise any more tuna or billfish for that matter. So we decided to pull up the lines. It was getting late and we ran a lot closer to the land, maybe about 6 to 8 miles off the shore. Put out the spread again, primarily targeting a billfish, and sure enough it took us like 5 minutes and we were hooked into a sailfish.
So you knock it or? Knock it and come back? Yes, son, you're fighting like a man. Ah, what's up? So you fight fish? You're fighting a thing because you're barely something line up in run.
Maro, this thing like a run 3,000 yards.
Hey, leader, go and so, lad, go and so.
Look how it's hard.
Reverse so. No, reverse that way. Reverse that way, Alan, reverse that way. Captain Bean!
That little fish!
Captain Bean!
That little fish, Brendan! Come now,
Captain
man!
Bean!
Hold your belly, you have another one going on?
Captain Bean! Wait, what's on the sail race so fast? Bean, holy thing now! Let's head out the water!
The next day, got up bright and early. It was home time today. Headed straight out, put out the spread. We actually saw some birds around in the area, which is why we stopped in this particular area. We saw a couple tuna jump in, which were the first tuna that we saw in the wild since we reached Grenada. We tried a couple stick baits. Were unsuccessful, probably because they weren't really bundled up frenzying. You'll see like one jump, 300 feet to the left, and then you'll look behind the boat and one will like jump 300 feet that direction, and it was happening like once every 20 minutes. We worked the area and we ended up hooking up a sailfish, which we didn't complain about. So we fought that fish and ended on that note.
What's that line mean? Potter definitely didn't get that.
Coming up, Potter.
You could barely even go down to
How many that sailfish was? 15 pounds?
Nice yes?
Yeah.
60 pounds.
That's a nice size seal.
Well, I own.
Come on, and hard there, Skippy. Skippy hard. What if you Skippy? What if you Skippy? I know what's going so.
Shooting.
Yeah, no them scratch. I'm not touching this fish. There's your big get rock up yesterday. Hey,
Yeah, this one up in the ice was good.
Coming back home, we had to stop on the rig. Got a lot of rig donkeys out there, and who doesn't love a good rig donkey to fry when they go home? So we stopped. Conditions were, again, absolutely blew mine. It was glassed off, actually had no current. Reese dropped down a jig and started it off pretty good.
Reese, you're real petty now. Let me get some angles here, Reese.
I'm gonna be a little donkey, you know. I feel like it's 5 pounds.
What? Alan, what the Yeah, but you'll give me a heart attack, was.
Next, it was my turn because we only had one jigging rod, and let's just say it wasn't as successful. Just bad luck.
Ratata.
Nice big Jewfish,
Very good.
I'm going to get out fight, boy.
The beanie rod, let him fight it.
No gas, boy. How much gas you have?
Take that rod there, Bean. Yeah, Joshua. Call Joshua. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now no yoke. Nah. Uh-huh. Oh, what a joke.
That rail the front, boy.
The jig's still on?
But you need a push bad, boy. On a reel, you need a push bad. I don't know.
Hard again?
I know a fellow who has sword line and sword.
Oh, don't beat up your rod. Oh, there's an ugly stick so you can beat it early on. Oh! That kind of got a nice fish. Oh! Oh! Going on, Brett. Drop it a little bit, drop it a little bit.
Dog.
So that ends the Grenada trip. Did not get my yellowfin tuna on a stick bait. Not really crushed about it. Just gonna keep trying again. I'm hoping to have the opportunity sometime in the future because I really want to catch a yellowfin tuna on a stick bait off the bow of somebody's boat. And the tuna in Grenada are huge. I mean, they average 100 pounds. Early hundreds is like the average size. 150 is kind of big. Anything in the 200, like getting up to the 200 pound range is pretty huge for Grenada. But 100 pounds is like a solid average fish. So, I mean, the Grenada is just north of us. It's one of our nearby islands. I'm hoping the opportunity comes sometime in the future. But there's only one way to find out, and there's only one way to get the opportunity, and it's to continue going and continue trying. So that's what I'm going to do. And until that happens, I'll see you on the next one.